If he consumes more than that, or if the quantity increases more than that, if the quantity increases more than that, then he will get disutility. Disutility, because it doesn't like, or he won't require that commodity, therefore disutility will be there. So that the law is stating, if the quantity of a commodity increases, the additional utility or the margin utility will gradually decline and will become zero, indicating that the want of a person is completely satisfied. And the assumptions are also there in that utility analysis. This is a kind of utility, cardinal utility analysis. In these assumptions are that a commodity is a normal commodity. It is divisible into small units also. The commodity is divisible into small units. It is a normal commodity. And the utility of the commodity is measurable in cardinal number, like a 10, 5, 6, etc. The utility, of course, utility cannot be measured. It is related to our mind. Okay, it is not seen, but the law is assuming that satisfaction or that utility can be measured in cardinal number. So this is assumption of measuring the utility in cardinal number. Okay, but whereas the utility of money is remaining constant. Another assumption is that the utility of money is remaining constant. And the consumer here is a person who is consuming the commodity, is a rational person. Is a rational person, and he wants to consume in such a way to get the maximum utility. Irrational persons may consume more than the requirement. If he consumes more than requirement, disutility will be there. He cannot get maximum utility. So therefore, we are assuming a person who is a rational person, he wants to get maximum utility. Maximum utility is there when the margin utility is a zero. Then the total utility is a maximum when the margin utility is a zero. That when one is satisfied, the total utility will be maximum. That is called as a consumer's, it's called as equilibrium, getting the maximum utility. Okay. And in this case, what you have to do is, you have to memorize the definition. You have to write the assumptions. Then after the assumptions, you can also write what is called as a table, utility table, consisting the quantity column and total utility column, then the margin utility column. So that table is to be prepared. After that, you have to prepare what is called as a graph. The graph is consisting one total utility curve, another one is margin utility curve. You can also draw one diagram exactly above another. In the lower diagram, the margin utility curve; in the upper diagram, total utility curve. In the lower diagram, the margin utility curve is declining, that is sloping down from left to right, and it intersects the x-axis. It will intersect x-axis, it will come down also. When it is intersecting x-axis, it is called as a zero. The margin utility becomes a zero when it is intersecting x-axis.
Sir, your voice is
below
breaking.
x-axis, it's called as a disutility, negative. When the margin utility curve is intersecting x-axis, it is indicating that the margin utility is a zero. And when the total utility reaches maximum, where that margin utility is a zero, the total utility is maximum, you can just connect it with the vertical line. A vertical line. So that diagram should be there. And you can also write some exceptions where this is not applicable. Okay. In case of the rare commodities as you know about exceptions, in case of the rare commodities or rare collections, this utility cannot diminish. So that is about exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility. So all these are to be framed in this essay question answer.
Tenth కూడా రాయొచ్చా?
Okay, pardon?
రాయొచ్చా సార్?
What is your doubt?
ఇంపార్టెన్స్ కూడా రాయొచ్చా?
Yes, you can write it. If it is essay question, you can write it. Importance of that also you can write it, because you have to write 3 pages answer. When you write in the 3 pages answer, if you add even that answer also, that examiner will get satisfaction and will give maximum marks. So the core content is that the definition and the definition is to be correct one. The definition, assumptions, after that assumptions, explanation in the form of the table, explanation in the form of the graph, and later exceptions. This will be sufficient. Even if you want to add, you can also add, that is importance utility, diminishing utility also.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Voice is breaking.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay?
Sir, for long answers,
Right,
3
you can ask,
pages.
you can ask another question now. Yeah, that is the 3 pages.
And for short answers?
Is maximum of 3 to 4. Short answers 1 page. Maximum of 1 page. But there also it will not state that you can write anything. But if you write the proper answer of the page also, you will be getting the marks. It should be correct one. If you write the correct answer only, you will be getting the marks. If you write something irrelevant, even if it's 1 page, 2 page also, you will not get anything. You will get 0 only. So essay questions to the maximum of 3 pages. Short questions to the maximum of 1 page. Maximum of 1 page, not a minimum of 1 page. Maximum of 1 page. That is. And there also you can draw the diagram. You can also write a table. You can also put it in the form of the function, equation form.
Sir, in essay questions, long
Just
answers.
in case of the total utility is equal to the function. Pardon?
In essay questions, you gave different
your
types
question?
of short run costs, sir. For that 3 pages, how we can write? What we should write?
Yeah, in the short questions related to, in the essay question related to short run cost curves, you have to write in the 7 types of cost curves are there in the short run period. Total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost. 3. And for these 3, you can draw the diagram. Right? 1 diagram. Then after that, averages. Average of fixed cost, average of variable cost, and average cost. Then 4th one is a marginal cost. The 4. For these 4, you can prepare another table. Okay. Then later you can draw the graph even for the remaining 4, the short run costs also. So total 7 costs are there in the short run period. 2 diagrams, and 7 types of costs. And you can also explain there itself the shape of the average cost curve, U-shaped average cost curve, and the relation between the average cost curve and marginal cost curve also you have to explain there. Okay. So therefore,
sir, relation between AC and MC.
Pardon?
Relation between AC and MC.
AC, yes, average cost and marginal cost relation. For that also you can draw the graph. So 3 graphs will be there. The U-shaped average cost curve and the marginal cost curve. Okay, 3 relations. When the AC is declining, MC also will decline. When AC is the minimum, MC is equal to that. And the 3rd one, when AC is rising, MC will rise at a higher rate, and MC will be more than AC. So like that you can explain, and definitely it will come to 3 pages. You don't bother about if it comes to 3 pages or more or not. The maximum limit they put it is a 3 pages. Even if it is a 2 pages also no problem.
Sir, once again, can you tell the 7 types of cost?
Yeah, one is the total fixed cost. Second one is the total variable cost. Third one is the total cost. These three. Then average of these three. That is average fixed cost, average variable cost, average cost, marginal cost. So total 4 plus 3. Total together 7.
Sir, we have to explain first this three TFC, TVC, and TC,
Yeah, right.
and 4 in a diagram.
First you should
AFC,
explain that.
AVC, and ACMC.
There also have
So
a
then what
proper
about
diagram for the
SAC
three
and SMC, sir?
SCC, short-term average cost, short-term fixed cost, short-term
Short run marginal
average
cost.
fixed cost. Yeah, just simply don't put any S for the short-term cost. You can put like this: average fixed cost, AFC, AVC, average variable cost, ATC or AC, average cost, MC, marginal cost. You put only simply without any S letter, because the cost curves, etc., which you are drawing related to the short-term period. If you are asked to write specifically for long-run period, there only you can put a L letter. Okay.
So, sir, if we write about TC, TFC, TVC and one graph, AFC, ABC, MCAC, one graph and explanation, then relation between AC and MC is enough.
Yes. You should also draw the graphs also. Explanation as well as a graph. And some equations are also there. For example, marginal cost. The MC is equal to the total cost of n units minus total cost of n minus 1 unit. So this equation will be right. For average cost, you will also write an equation that average cost is equal to total cost divided by n, number of units. And total cost also, the total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. So I think these equations also should be written. If you want to explain in detail for 2-3 pages, if I have the time, but there, the purpose of putting maximum 3 pages is to manage that answer for in 3 hours. All the questions are to be answered, isn't it? All essay questions and short questions are to be answered in the 3 hours frame. So that's why they put a limit for each answer. If you are going on writing 10 pages only for one question, you cannot write remaining questions. So that's why they are putting some limit upon the answers also. The number of pages you write. You had to manage. You had to manage the time. You distribute among all the questions, right? If you are able to attempt all the questions in examination, don't leave any question at all. Try to attempt at least all the questions. Don't miss anything. If you attempt a question, at least you will be getting some grace marks also. Some grace marks. If you leave, you cannot get anything. If you attempt something, if you write even introductory part also, you'll be getting some grace marks. So you have to manage the time then.
Sir, long questions, how many? 4.
Pardon?
Long questions, how many we have to write?
From each unit, they will give 2 essays. 2 essay questions from each unit. 5 units, 5 to 10 essays they will give. Okay. And from each unit, when the 2 questions are given, you have to select one. Internal choice. Internal choice is there. That is from the 2 questions of a unit, either you can attempt the first one or second one. They put RR. So that is ultimately you have to attempt the 5 essay questions. 5 essays. each one from each unit. 5 essays and short questions are compulsory. Out of 7 or 8, they ask you to write 4 or 5. They ask you to write the 4 or 5. They may give some 8 questions, etc., or 7 questions, etc. Out of them, you have time to the 4 to 5 questions they will give you. So 5 essays, 4 or 5 short questions.
Sir, please
law of-
explain price output determination, sir.
Huh?
Price
What is
output
that?
determination.
Price output determination is nothing but a pricing determination, price determination. Each market is having 2 important essay questions, isn't it? I told you. One is about the characteristics of a market, the features of it. For example, if you take the perfect competition, the characteristics of the perfect competition or the features of the perfect competition is one. There you will write all the characteristics. The second part is related to the price determination in that market. The price determination in the short run period, very short run period, and long run period. There you will be taking the total demand curve, total supply curve. So where the demand curve is intersecting the supply curve, that is the equilibrium point. From that equilibrium point, if you draw a horizontal line, you'll get the price. So the diagrams are there, isn't it? So that diagrammatic explanation for the price determination. That is there in the perfect competition and price determination in the monopolistic competition, price determination in the monopoly, price determination in oligopoly, etc. I explained all the 4. But here, 2 are possible. One is perfect competition, second one is monopolistic competition. Sometimes they may ask even the monopoly also.
law of
Prices, out of 3, there may be possibility of 2. Pardon?
law of equimarginal utility
What is
కూడా law of diminishing utility రాయాలా దానికి ఏం రాయాలా దీనికి అవే రాయాలా సార్
Law of equimarginal utility.
ఎస్ సార్ law of diminishing marginal utility కి ఏవైతే రాస్తామో అవే రాయాలా హెడ్డింగ్స్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అసలు
Law of diminishing yes, law of diminishing marginal utility is one law. Law of equimarginal utility is another. Okay, and in the law of equimarginal utility also you have to write the definition, then explanation, then assumptions are also there. Assumptions you can write under the explanation only. Definition under the explanation, first one you can write assumptions and the mathematical equation that the marginal utility of x is equal to marginal utility of y equal to marginal utility of z, etc. Or the marginal utility of x divided by price of x equal to marginal utility of y divided by price of y equal to marginal utility of z divided by price of y. There also you are writing assumptions about the income given. Okay, that is how much money he is going to spend, that income given. And the prices of X commodity, price of Y commodity also you have to assume. The income given and the price of the commodities are also you have to assume. And you have to prove that the total this income, with these prices, the consumer should purchase the quantity of X unit and the quantity of Y unit, quantity of Z unit in such a pattern. You have to prove that also. With the help of the tape. There also you draw a diagram. And also you can prepare a table, that utility table. And in the utility table, you can draw about ordinary utilities and as well as the weighted marginal utilities. Weighted marginal utility, there is a utility of X by what is called as the price of X. So you can refer to your notes. There we had prepared everything there. So here also you can write an exceptions. That a definition, then later explanation consisting, assumptions, then equation, then the utility table, then the graph, then you can write some exceptions. Like exception C or like a utility cannot be measured. Then another exception is that utility of money may not remain constant. Okay, The next one is a consumer may not know about the prices of the commodities, and he cannot equalize the weighted margin utilities. So like assumptions and exceptions, etc. you can write. So this is also utility analysis, cardinal utility analysis. Okay. Right. The next question.
Elasticity of demand explain jara.
Law of
Elasticity
demand.
Micro,
elasticity
macro.
of demand.
Yeah, about the microeconomics and macroeconomics, there you have to define what is microeconomics, and you can also define what is macroeconomics. In the microeconomics, you can state like that it is a branch of economics which will explain the behavior of individual decision-making unit. Individual decision-making unit. You can mention what are the individual decision-making units. Like in the consumption, a consumer is a unit. In a production, a firm is a unit. In exchange, the price of a product is a unit. In case of the distribution, you can take about theory of a particular factor, remuneration, like a theory of wage or a theory of interest. So there you can take only one factor and one theory also in the distribution theories. This will be. And you can also state what is the use of the microeconomics. The microeconomics is the assumption, under the assumptions, it will try to explain a person and make the person to understand the functioning of the entire economy. So that's why the microeconomics is equally important. Then later you can also define what is a macroeconomics. That is the branch of economics which will explain the behavior of aggregate economic variable, aggregations, total. Aggregate economic variable at a nation level. So this is like looking at forest, looking from the plain, a forest, the trees, all trees together, a forest it is. It's called as a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view, okay? So that is called as the macroeconomics. And here we can mention the economic variables at a nation level, like the study of national income, like the study of economic growth theories. You can also study about the stages in the growth, and you can also study about the theories of balance of trade or balance of trade, business cycles. You can see the balance of payments or the budgets, or you can also see about the poverty or inflation. So these are the aspects of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is more useful to the government for policy decision making. Policy decision making. Of course, a proper decision can depend upon the micro and macro, but most of the macroeconomic contents will be useful to the government for policy making also. Then also you can compare that microeconomics and macroeconomics you can compare, and you can say both these branches are not contradictory to each other, but they are complementary to each other, will help the person to understand in comprehensive way. So like that you can explain about microeconomics and macroeconomics. It comes to maximum of 3 pages. A maximum of 3 pages. It doesn't mean you have to write everything 3 pages. Okay. And this is about J.M. Keynes' importance for the macroeconomics. And all the classical economic theories are related to microeconomics. Like law of demand, marginal utility. They're all theories related to consumers' behavior or price determination or social welfare, etc. Okay. And you know that whatever the notes given to you, you put in front of you, that is a core content of the answer. In addition to that, you can also refer to the textbooks and add the additional answers.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Law of demand. Explain Jayara.
The law of demand. Law of demand. You're asking the law of demand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah, you can state about the same law of demand, defining that the law of demand will explain the quantity demanded of a commodity will extend with a fall in the price, and the quantity demanded of quantity demand of a product will contract with a rise in the price. So this is statement explaining the relation between the quantity of a commodity which a consumer is demanding and its price. Okay, so this will be explaining only relation between the price and its price of a commodity and its demand, stating that if the price is rising, demand will decrease, that is contraction. If the price is falling, the quantity demanded will increase, that is extension. Extension of the demand, contraction of the demand due to change in the price is the core of that definition. Okay. After the definition, you have to write what are called as the assumptions. Like the price of other commodities are remaining constant. Okay. The commodity about which you are writing or speaking is a normal commodity. Is a normal commodity. And a consumer is a rational person. Consumer is a rational person, which he wants to get maximum satisfaction. And you can also mention about that the government policy is remaining constant. So with these assumptions, you can proceed about explanation. Under the explanation, you will be writing that function also, you write the demand function stating that Dx is equal to f of the Px, that the demand for X commodity is the function of the price of X commodity alone. One is a dependent variable, another one is an independent variable. Only price of the commodity is independent, only one, that's all. Okay, so you can write this demand function stating the functional relation between the two. And you are at the same time mentioning other factors which are written in the previous demand function, general demand function, that the income of the consumers are constant, taste and fashions of the consumers are remaining constant, government policy is remaining constant. Like that, you will write all this. And after this demand function in mathematical way, then you will prepare the table. That is a table consisting the price column and quantity demanded. Okay, quantity demanded. So there will be two columns only, that price column and the quantity demanded column. Then after that, you can draw the graph, that demand curve graph, and there the demand curve will slope down from left to right. You can also mention below that why the demand curve is sloping down from left to right. You will be mentioning the reasons. The demand curve slopes down from left to right because of the inverse functional relationship, inverse relation between the demand and price. That's why it is sloping down. You can also mention that the demand is extending. Demand is extending when the price falls because of the three reasons. One you can mention is the price effect. Second one is the income effect. And the third one is the substitution effect. You write all these things about extension the demand.
Demand is extending because of that.
Yeah. And the demand curve slopes down from left to right because of inverse relationship between the demand and the price. Inverse relation between the demand and the price. Okay, and we can write down below that the demand is extending because of three reasons. One you can mention is the price effect. Second one is the income effect. Income, their real income, right? Third one is substitution effect. So these three effects will be mentioning as the reasons of extension of the demand because of the fall in the price.
Sir, income,
So
substitution.
that kind of explanation will give that. After that, you'll write exceptions. Under the exceptions, you'll write a Giffen's paradox. Giffen's paradox you can mention there. And you can also mention about the demand for luxury goods. Snob goods mean the commodities which consumers feel they are luxurious or what is called as a status, social status goods. Okay, so like that you had to write what are the exceptions, and in case of the exceptions, the demand curve will rise up from left to right. Again, you draw another curve, another graph where that the demand curve will rise up from left to right. That also you have to draw. Okay.
Sir, the law of non-proportional returns. The law of non-returns.
What is that? Law of non-proportional?
Return, sir.
Loss of. In case of the returns, two theories are mentioned. No? One is the law of diminishing marginal production, or law of variable proportion. Second one is loss of returns to scale. Law of diminishing marginal returns or law of variable proportions. First one. Second one is loss of returns to scale. I hope you are asking the first one.
Yes, sir.
Law of variable proportions. This is a short-run theory. You have to mention this law of variable proportions related to the short-run theory, or it will explain how the production will change in the short-run period. If the inputs are changing, the output also will change. Okay. Then what you will do, that you can mention that in the short-run period, some factors are constant or fixed, and other factors are variable. Okay, at least one factor is remaining constant or fixed. You can mention in this case a capital. The capital is a fixed factor. Labor you can take as a variable factor. Okay. If the labor is increasing, capital being constant, if the labor alone is increasing, the proportion between the capital and labor will change. The proportions, for example, 1 unit of capital, 1 unit of labor. The ratio is 1:1. If the workers are increased from 1 to 2, then the ratio will become 1 unit of capital, 2 units of labor, 1:2. Then 1:3, 1:4. Like that, the proportion are changing. The proportions between the factors of productions are changing. That's why we call it a variable. And output also will change, but output will not change in the constant capacity, in the constant way, or evenly the production cannot increase. The output also will be increasing at a different rates. That output also will increasing at a different rates. First, it may increase at an increasing rate, then it may increase at a constant rate, then it may increase at a decreasing rate. So output will be increasing at an increasing rate, increasing at a constant rate, increasing at a diminishing rate, like that. Okay. Then the total output, whereas the total output, the curve we had drawn, the total output curve also, the total output curve is increasing and will be reaching the maximum, then later it will decline. Here also you can bring the relation between the marginal output and the total output. Marginal output and total output. In the first, if you divide the diagram into 3 components, in the first part, that marginal output is increasing. Okay, and the second part, that marginal output will diminish, will become equal to 0. In the third part, it will be below x-axis. Below x-axis. Even you can also draw that average output curve. In the first part, it will also increase, whereas in the second part, it will be diminishing. Even in the third part, also it will be decreasing, but it cannot become 0. So 2 output curves: marginal output curve, total output, marginal output curve, average output curve. Then above this, one diagram is then one diagram for the total output curve. Total output. Again, you can show the relation between the marginal output is a 0 and the total output is a maximum like this. Okay, so that also you can show the relation. When you draw these 2 diagrams, one above other exactly, one above other exactly. If you draw the 2 diagrams, you can find the relation between the 2 also. So that in the short-term period, you have to mention that if you assume 2 factors like a capital and labor, in the form of the equation that Q, the output, is a function of that K and L, K and L, and K is a constant. Therefore, you put a bar on the K, right? K and L. That assumption itself, 2 factors of production, capital and labor. Capital is a fixed factor, labor is a variable factor. Then below that, you are showing about the table, stating the quantity of the capital is the same, 1 and 1, 1, etc. Whereas the quantity of the labor is increasing, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There itself will find the ratio 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, etc. in the factors column. Whereas in case of output column, 3 outputs you are mentioning. One is a marginal output, second one is average output, third one is a total output. These 3 columns plus 2, total will be 5 columns are there in the schedule. And after that, below that, you will be drawing the 2 diagrams, one for the total output curve, and below marginal output and average output curves. After the diagram explanation, below you can state the relation between the average output, marginal output, and the total output. The shape of the total output curve is also very peculiar. It is just like what is called a convex downwards in the beginning, the later concave downwards, then the maximum and a decline. That particular shape I have drawn, and we have taken the notes also. That type of the total output curve we can draw it. Marginal output. And you can also mention the under the assumption the marginal output can be measured. The marginal output can be measured, and that assumption also is right. This is in the short-run period, and this theory is explaining about the behavior of the output in the short-run period when some factors are constant and some factors are varying. Like that you can explain. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Then what are the next steps?
Sir, determinants of demand.
Pardon?
Determinants of demand.
Determinants of the demand. Yeah, determinants of the demand. You have written a general demand function. General demand function, you can refer to the general demand function in the mathematical equation form, stating on the left hand side dx, that is a demand for x commodity, is equal to then f of, that is function of, within the bracket you can write all these determinants within the brackets. Like first one is the price of the given commodity, the price of x, one determinant. One determinant is the price of x commodity itself. Then the second one is the PR, that is the price of the related commodities, like substitute goods and complementary goods. Then third one, then you can take income. income of the consumers. More is the income, more is the demand, less is the income, less is the demand. That kind of relation, right? Income. And you can also see N. N is representing the number of consumers in the market. More number of consumers, more is the demand. Less number of consumers, less demand. N, that is representing the population or number of consumers. Then T is also there. The T is representing the taste and preference of the consumer. Taste and preferences. This is representing the character of the person.
లాస్ట్
can
వన్ లో
also
ఓకే
mention another one is the
దువోపోలి
D.
చూసుకుందాం
The
డిటర్మినెంట్స్
government
ఆఫ్
policy,
ఆలిగోపోలి కావాలా
which will also affect the demand. If there is subsidies and one type of demand, if there is a taxes and the demand will decrease. Like that, G is also mentioned as a government policy which will also affect the demand. So all these are coming as a determinants of the demand. Determinants of the demand. Even you can also mention about even you can mention the advertisement also A. Advertisement also will influence the demand. More is the advertisement, there may be more demand, less is the advertisement, less is the demand. So all these which are writing on the right hand side called as a factors influencing the demand are also called as a determinants of the demand also. They are all to be written as a determinants of the demand.
ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ రిపీట్ చేయరా
Yeah, under the determinants, first you write a demand function. Demand function in the form of equation. In the form of equation, on left hand side you write a dx. Means demand for X commodity is equal to F, small f, F of, then you write within the brackets. You write within the brackets all these factors. Like Px. Px is indicating the price of X commodity or the price of a given commodity. Px. Then you will write second PR. PR is price of related commodities. Their price of the substitute commodities and price of the complementary commodities. Second. Then third one you can say income. Y. Y is the letter representing income of the consumers. If income increases, demand will increase. If income decreases, demand will decrease. Income. Then you can also see about N. N is that the number of consumers of the population. More population, more demand, less population, less demand. Consumers more demand, consumers less demand. That is N. Okay. I can write another one is a T. T is representing the taste and the preference of the consumers. T. Then you can write A. A is advertisement. More advertisement, more demand, less advertisement, less demand. Then you can also mention another one. Yeah?
Government.
The taste. G also is there. G is the government policy. So government policy G is policy representing in the form of the taxes. If the government is imposing taxes, price will increase and demand will decrease. If the government is giving subsidies, prices will decline and demand may increase. So subsidies and taxes, which are part of the government policies, also will affect the demand for the product. So G is the right. All these which are writing in the bracket on the right hand side are determinants of the demand, are factors influencing the demand. Okay. Here only explanation, no diagram.
Okay, sir.
Okay, what you can do is just every day you prepare for this, and like this you can ask the questions every day. I would like to explain and clarify all your doubts also. But you should read.
Sir,
You
what
should
about
read and
causes and
you should
control?
read the notes and as well as textbook. And after that, you can find some. If you can find some doubts, then definitely I will explain also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, see you in the
సార్
next
సెమిస్టర్
class.
మీరు పంపించిన క్వశ్చన్స్ చదవాలా లేకపోతే ఎక్స్ట్రా వేరే చదవాలా సార్
For the semester examination, whatever the notes I given, it is a content, core content. It is a compulsory. In addition to this, you refer to any textbook or any
Sir, not
notes.
notes, sir. I'm asking.
Questions you're asking, semester questions you're asking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for semester examination, you have to read the textbook. Plus notes also. Notes is important.
Since you gave, is that enough, or we should read from textbook also?
Yeah, textbook enough. That will be enough.
Sir. No, sir. You have given previously some questions, no, sir.
Huh?
You have given some questions, no, sir, across 20 of long answers and 15 of
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, right. All.
So, are they
Okay.
enough for examination point?
All these are important from examination point.
Okay,
Entire
sir. If
syllabus
we
is
read
covered.
that, this is enough.
That is enough.
Enough, sir.
That enough.
Means
Sir.
That will be enough. Now,
From these only it will come.
only these questions, if we read, we can write an examination, no, sir.
pardon?
If we read these questions which you have given, are they enough, no, sir?
Yes, that they are enough. They are enough. Maximum will cover.
Thank you, sir.
Maximum will cover.
From that only it will come, no, sir, for the semester
Maximum will
exams.
Maximum will cover because it is covering entire syllabus.
Sir, what about inflation causes and control?
Huh?
Inflation. You didn't mention about it.
Yeah, about inflation, you can mention the reasons like that.
Sir, in the questions that you gave, inflation is not there.
Stagflation is given now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, from one, we cannot give more. If I give more, then entire syllabus will be covered. Not only entire syllabus, each and everything will be covered. You are selecting some important. So that's why one is coming, inflation and stagflation. That just I gave stagflation.
Inflation causes and control, they won't ask, sir, in exam.
Yeah, inflation causes, that is like a demand push. More is the demand for commodities, the prices will rise up. Or the demand pull and cost push. Cost push means the cost of the production increases, the price also will increase. Increase in the demand for commodities, increase in the cost of the production, that you can mention.
Sir, paper pattern. Paper pattern.
The paper pattern, just I told you, that from each unit 2 essays will be asked. From each unit, 5 units, 10 questions will come. That is the first one. And from each unit, you have the choice. Out of the 2, you can attempt 1. Okay. From the 5 units, you will have to write 5 essay questions. Then second type of questions, short questions. In the short questions, they give you some 7 to 8 short questions. Out of 7 to 8, you have to write 4 or 5 short questions. That's the only 2 type of questions in examination, semester examination. No objective type.
So marks for long
Marks
answer
will
and
be
short answer.
out of 80, 20 for internal, 80 for external semester. Suppose if you take the 10 into 5, 50, and here it is a 5 into 6 into 5 or 5 into 6 like that, it will be 30. So they will give the pattern also. You can look to the old examination question paper. You can find there the allocation of the marks also there. Allocation of the marks will be there. For both essay questions and short questions, total together 80 marks. You see, they may adopt this corona type of question paper. They gave some more essay questions and choices was given more. So that allocation of the marks will be out of 80. They allocate the marks for 5 essays and these short questions. Or we will be asked 3, depending upon the total 80 that will be allocated according to the number of questions and choice they give.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay, see you in the next class also. You
sir.
read
Bye, sir.
and
Bye, sir.
try to get or see some doubts, and I will clarify them also.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Welcome you all. Do you hear me? Hello? Students,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
do you hear me? Morning. As I promised yesterday, problem number 20, 21, 22, I have solved them and they were posted to you. One student asked me, sir, work out 22nd problem also. 22nd also solved. I prepared suspense account and I prepared
morning,
effect
sir.
of errors on profit. That net difference is difference between debit and credit is if debit is more, net loss that is to be deducted. Reduction in the profit. Deduct from capital. If it is an increase in profit, then you add to capital sheet. Personal accounts and real accounts are reflected in balance sheet. All nominal accounts will go to profit and loss account. And personal accounts appear in the balance sheet. Some personal accounts will go down. Some personal accounts may be deducted. Some assets like machinery in this machinery is added in the. So assets will go up. That's it. So that already given. If you have doubt, you can contact me. No, I can't. Now that topic is file accounts. The things. Rob? Text.
Sir, your voice not clear, sir.
Final accounts. Not clear? Is
No,
it clear
sir.
now? Is it? Cut. Is it okay now?
No, sir.
It's
Hello?
stucking, sir.
Stucking. Shyam, ఒకసారి వస్తావమ్మా Shyam. Is it okay now?
No, sir.
iPod. Hello? Is it clear now?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
No, sir.
Is it clear now? Is it clear now?
No, sir. Not clear.
Not clear. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Is
now
it clear?
clear,
I am
sir.
talking to you. Not now clear?
Yes, sir.
Is
Yes,
it clear?
sir.
Huh? Okay. Now we proceed with take the notebook. Important notes I will give you. Write down. Final accounts. Final accounts. It involves preparation of. Write down. It involves preparation of financial statements. Preparation of financial statements. They are, full stop, they are number one. They are number one. Trading and profit and loss account. Number one. Trading and profit and loss.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Not audible. Once again, I'll call.
డోర్ ఇస్తలేవు కదా డోర్ ఇస్తే అమ్మి
ఈ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అయితే నాకు ఏదో నాకు ఐడియా ఏముంది ఎందులో ఉంది అది. హలో స్టూడెంట్స్,
Sir, it is clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's breaking, sir.
Is it clear now?
No,
నీ నెట్వర్క్ లేక
Sir.
Sir.
No, sir.
లేదు
it's
సార్
not
మీ
clear.
ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ క్లియరా?
Not clear, sir.
చూడు, మాట్లాడు వాళ్ళతో.
Good morning,
Hello?
Shyam, sir.
హలో,
క్లియర్గా లేదు
క్లియర్
సార్.
నౌ? క్లియర్ గా లేదా? ఒకసారి నెట్వర్క్ అది చూడు, నెట్ కరెక్ట్. ఇది నా దాంట్లో ఫంక్షన్స్ ఏమైనా తేడా ఉందా? బ్లూటూత్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి కనెక్ట్ చేసి. హలో డియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్, ఈజ్ ఇట్ వాయిస్ క్లియర్ నౌ? హలో స్టూడెంట్స్,
Yes, sir.
ఈజ్ ఇట్
Sir, stuck అవుతుంది, sir.
స్టక్ అవుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
వాయిస్ ఏముంది? బానే ఉంది. ఇది ఏమన్నా ఈ ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ తిరగలేదు కదా? హలో స్టూడెంట్స్, నౌ
Yes,
రెస్పాండ్.
sir.
Sir, ఇప్పుడు okay, sir.
Yes, sir, ఇప్పుడు క్లియర్ సార్,
No,
క్లియర్
sir, it's clear.
ఓకే. ఫ్యాన్కి లింక్ ఉందా ఏంటి? వద్దు నాకు ఫ్యాన్, అది కూడా బంద్ చేసి. Now we'll come back to our business and now. So the financial account, they are number one, trading and profit and loss account. Number one is trading and profit and loss account. Number two, balance balance sheet. That's it. Next one. Change the para. Trial balance is the source of trial balance is the source. Trial balance is the source for preparation of financial statements. Trial balance is the source for preparation of financial statements. Next line. Trial balance is a statement. Trial balance is a statement of summary of ledger accounts. Summary of ledger accounts on a given date. On a given summary of ledger accounts on a given date. Next line. Financial statements are prepared. Financial statements are prepared at the end of financial statements are prepared at the end of each financial year. At the end of each financial year. Next one. To prepare final accounts, some adjustments are given.
Sir, repeat once again.
To prepare financial accounts, some adjustments are given. Some adjustments are given along with trial balance. Along with the trial balance. TB and Roscon. Along with the trial balance. Full stop. These adjustments are to be taken into consideration. These adjustments are to be taken into consideration. Taken into consideration. Full stop. Next line I will write on the board. Next line Raskondi. One line. In trial balance, we find all three types of accounts. We find all three types of accounts. That is real accounts. Personal accounts, real accounts, personal accounts and nominal accounts. Nominal accounts. Nominal accounts will go to number one. I am giving you nominal. You can write down nominal accounts. Debit balance, showing debit balance debited to trading and profit and loss account. Nominal accounts showing debit balance, nominal account showing debit balance debited to trading and profit and loss account. Nominal account showing credited to trading, profit and loss account. Nominal account showing debit balance, nominal account showing debit balance, a debit to trading and profit and loss account. Then nominal accounts showing credit balance. In the trial balance you find, some accounts show debit balance, some accounts show credit balance. Nominal account showing the credit balance will be showing the credit balance, showing credit balance credited to nominal account showing credit balance credited to trading and profit and loss account. Number two, real accounts. That is assets. Show them on assets side of balance sheet. Real accounts relating to assets. These assets you record them, show them on assets side of balance sheet. All real accounts will go to balance sheet. Next one, third one, personal accounts. Personal accounts showing debit balance, showing debit balance record them as assets in asset side of balance sheet. Record them on assets side of balance sheet. Personal account showing debit balance, record them on asset side of balance sheet. B, personal account showing credit balance, record them on liability side. Liabilities side of balance sheet. This is nominal account go to profit and loss account. Real account will go to balance sheet. Personal account also will go to balance sheet. This is outcome. The outcome is personal accounts and real accounts will appear in the balance sheet. Nominal accounts will go to profit and loss account. Is it clear? There are three types of accounts. Already you know it. What is nominal account? Tell me. I want to hear from you. Nominal accounts relating to
Expenses, losses, gains, and
income
incomes.
and
so expenses losses show debit balance. In the trial balance, expenses losses will appear on the debit column. So debit them to either trading account or profit and loss account. They will be debited to trading or profit and loss account. Incomes and gains. Incomes and gains show credit balance. Incomes and gains show credit balance. They will be credited to trading account or profit and loss account, whichever is applicable. So, nominal accounts debit balances are debited, credit balances are credited to trading and profit and loss account. That's it. So, from trial balance, nominal accounts will go to profit and loss account. What remains? Remaining two accounts. What are they? Real account. Real account relating to assets. Assets right in the balance sheet on asset side of the balance sheet. That's it. Asset side. Balance sheet, you have assets and liabilities. The next one is personal accounts. Personal accounts, two categories. Some personal accounts show debit balance. They are called debtors. Some personal accounts show debit balance. They will appear on asset side of the balance sheet. They appear on asset side of the balance sheet. And some personal accounts show credit balance. Credit balance means they are called creditors. So creditors accounts show credit balance. So they will appear on liability side of balance sheet. If this is remembered, final account you can work out subjected to adjustments. Some adjustments will be given. Example, we used machinery for 1 year. Some value is lost. That reduction in the value of an asset is to be recorded. Similarly, some expenses incurred, you already incurred, but you actually, the amount is not paid to the person concerned, or maybe it is due. Sometimes what happens, we earn some income, but that was not actually received. That's it. Okay. Now write some more notes. Which accounts will show debit balance? Debit column. Ikkada raskoni I'll write. Number 1, expenses, losses, receivables from persons, receivables from persons. Debtors, example, debtors. Debtors. Assets. Show debit balance. In the trial balance, when you prepare, sometimes a short question may be given. Prepare trial balance from the following: expenses, losses, receivables from persons. You have to receive from persons. Debtors is an example. Receivables from persons, maybe natural persons, artificial or representative persons. And assets. All will be showing a debit balance. If you want to record assets in the balance sheet, look at the trial balance, debit column, not credit column. If you want debtors, refer to the debit column of the trial balance. If you want expenditure, look at the debit column of the trial balance. Similarly, loss also, because their nature is expenses, losses show debit balance. Any amount we have to receive, any amount to be received by the business also show debit balance. Assets also show debit balance. Second one, incomes and gains. Incomes, gains, payables, payable to persons. Payable to persons. Ante creditors. Creditors. Payable to persons. It includes loans also. Loans. Loans taken. Kuda this.
Overdraft.
Loans taken. Overdraft kuda personal account kada. Bank payable to bank ante. Bank account personal account kadra. Payable to bank ante. Payable to persons. Bank is a person. Loan taken also from somebody. Then capital. Capital. ఇక్కడ కూడా రాసుకోండి, షో డెబిట్ బ్యాలెన్స్. ఇక్కడ పర్సన్స్, డెటార్స్, డ్రాయింగ్స్ కూడా రాసుకోండి ఇక్కడ అనుమానం లేకుండా. డ్రాయింగ్స్ ఆల్సో. క్యాపిటల్ ఆల్సో the amount we have to pay to the owner. They show profits also రాసుకోండి. Profits. Profit. Show credit balance. Show credit balance. These are the guidelines you have to keep in mind while preparing. I told you in the trial balance, you have to identify there are 3 types of accounts. The 3 types means real account relating to assets. All real accounts, we shift them to the asset side of the balance sheet. Next one, personal accounts. Personal accounts relating to persons. Some persons, we have to receive money from some persons. Receivable by the business from some people, we show as asset in the balance sheet. Like sundry debtors is the example. Similarly, some persons we have to pay. Show credit balance, they appear on the liability side of balance sheet. That's it. Then personal account debit balance asset side. Personal accounts credit balance appear on the liability side of the balance sheet. It means personal accounts and real accounts will appear in balance sheet. Be careful. అక్కడ రాసా చూడండి. Nominal accounts goes to profit and loss account. Second one, real accounts will go to balance sheet. Personal accounts also will go to balance sheet. So personal accounts and real accounts will go to balance sheet, and nominal accounts will go to profit and loss account. That is the overall view you must have on preparation of financial statements. When it comes to the pro forma trading profit and loss account, I am not writing on the board, but I will explain to you. You go to fifth unit is given, page number I will explain. Already book is with you. I don't want to waste time. So page number page number 2, trading account. Page number 2, fifth unit, trading account. The equation, I will come to it later. Look at it. The pro forma is given. If I write on the board is of no use. Open your textbook. Page number 2, trading account is given. Pro forma is given. Debit side items I am reading one by one. Do you hear me? You have opened the book. So debit side.
Yes, sir.
First one is opening stock. Opening stock means stock on first day of the business. 365 days we work now. Suppose you are preparing financial statements. Financial year 2020-21 means beginning it is from 1/4/2020. This is the starting point to 31st March 2021. This is closing date. This is closing. This is opening date. Opening date. This is closing date. Year commencement. A financial year is a period of 12 months. Already I told you. On what day business commenced, that is the first day. Unsold stock of last year, on 31st March, unsold stock will become opening stock. Whether a stock is opening stock or closing stock, date will decide. On first day of the year, it is called opening stock. On the last day of the year, it is called closing stock. In this date I gave, 1st April 2020 is opening day. 31st March 2021 is closing date. So here the first one is opening stock. On first day of the financial year, it will be given in the trial balance. It will show debit balance. It appear in the debit column of the cash book. That is to be placed as first one. Next one. Next one is purchases. Purchases means goods purchased by the businessman. Less purchase returns. If any returns are there, goods returned to supplier are to be deducted. Less purchase are there. That is to be debited. Hello? Anybody? If you have any doubt, raise it. Purchases are to be debited. It's an expenditure. It will appear in the trial balance in the debit column. Next, direct expenses. Direct expenses means these are the expenses which are directly connected with purchase activity. What are they? carriage inwards. When you purchase the goods, you have to bring the goods into our godown. By transport expenses you have paid, that is called carriage inwards, is an expenditure. Wages, suppose you manufacture the goods with the help of the machines. When you manufacture the goods with the help of machines, some workers are engaged to produce the goods. Whatever wages we pay to the workers, it is to be debited to trading account. Trading account. Wages and salary, sometimes wages, salaries, both are given combined. If first wages is first word is wages, then debit to trading account. If salaries and wages are given, if salary is the first, that it will take into profit and loss account. Next. Fuel power. Fuel power means we have to use electricity for running the machinery. This is called a power. Some companies will manufacture, they don't have electric connection, they don't depend upon public supply of electricity, but they manufacture power internally. They generate electricity for their requirement. So, fuel used, sometimes we use diesel to produce current. So that will be the expenditure debited to trading account. Coal, gas, water kuda undi. Coal, gas, water. Some are the thermal power stations will be there. Some companies by boiling water with the help of coal. Coal is used as a fuel. Coal is used as a fuel. By burning the coal, they generate heat and they boil the water. With water, they produce steam. From steam, they generate pressure through which they rotate the turbine, steam turbine. The turbine rotates and produces electricity required for the manufacturing. So all these expenses, coal, gas, water, fuel, all will be debited to trading account. Then manufacturing or production expenses, expenditure connected with manufacturing. Anything to produce, lubricants, example, lubricants, accessories, any other manufacturing expenditure also be debited to trading account. Next one, factory expenditure. Anything factory lighting, expenditure relating to factory. Factory is a place where goods are manufactured. Office is different. Administrative office may be elsewhere. For example, Bhadrachalam paper boards. The office is in Sikidrabad, near Sangeet Theatre. Bhadrachalam paper board. The office, administrative office is in Sikidrabad, but production is taking place at Khammam district, Bhadrachalam, near Bhadrachalam, a place called Sarapaka, where paper is produced. Factory is at one place, office is in different place. So, any expenditure incurred at factory, it includes factory lighting, also will come under this one. Factory rent also, factory rent, rates, taxes. Rent paid for factory, taxes also will come in the trading account side. Not only that, works manager means production manager. A manager who is engaged in manufacturing the goods with some some workers. He is the head of the workers. Under his control, there may be 100, 200 workers working under his control. He is called production manager. Any salary paid to the production manager also be debited to trading account. The next one, octroi. octroi is a duty paid when lorries comes into the Hyderabad now. Suppose mango season, when a lorry comes into Hyderabad limits, they come and dump the production in the market yard, and along with that they dump some mango leaves and dust, everything they brought here. Who will clean that? Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. How they do with, because you bring the waste and dump in a market yard. Who will clean it? For that also, some charges are made by the local bodies. In Hyderabad, Municipal Corporation will collect octroi. Octroi is a tax collected by Municipal Corporation. All lorries entering into Hyderabad municipal limits, they have to pay. This is an expenditure to be debited to trading account. Customs duty means when goods are imported from other countries outside India. When goods enter into the Indian soil, Indian territory, you have to pay tax. This is called customs duty. If you pay any customs duty and clearance charges, dock charges, dock, it is at the seaport. When goods are imported at seaport, you have to pay some expenses. When goods are imported for manufacturing, so these expenses are to be debited to trading account. Next one, excise duty also. Excise duty is a kind of duty on manufactured goods within India. That is now after coming into picture, what you call GST. After GST is introduced, this is irrelevant. This is so now GST replaces customs duty and IGST. Customs duty now it is referred as IGST. When goods are imported from other countries, recently Act amended, IGST is, earlier you used to pay customs duty, no, now customs duty is not IGST. Excise also now is GST within the state, GST, between the states it is IGST. Anyhow, leave it. Royalty on manufacturing goods, anything, royalty means sometimes when you pay royalty, when you produce the goods, somebody has a right, but we produce under license. So that will be debited to trading account. So that other direct, if any other direct charges are there, that will be debited. Next one, credit side. Credit side of the trading account, sales. Sales is a major income for any business organization. Sales is the single largest income for any business. Sales minus, if any sales returns are there during that year, trial balance lo untundi. Say, sales will show credit balance. Sales returns show debit balance. Sales is a income, shows credit balance. Sales returns show goods comes into the business, so they are debit balance. So they are deducted from sales. Next one is closing stock. What is the closing stock? Unsold stock at the end of the year. I told you, if the financial year is 2021 means 1st April 2020 is the beginning. 1st April 2020. When the year will be over? 31st March 2021, the financial year comes to an end. So closing stock means unsold stock. Unsold stock of goods purchased by us. All goods purchased need not be sold. Some goods which we have purchased during the year, all might not have been sold by the businessman. Some may be left unsold. This is nothing but unsold stock. Unsold stock of goods on last day of the financial year is called closing stock. That will be created. So that's it. So debit side is expenditure side. Credit side is income side. The difference is known as, if credit side is more, it is called gross profit. credit side is more, it is called gross profit. If debit side is more, debit means expenditure side. So debit side is more, it is called gross loss. That will be transferred to profit and loss account. So later, I will take next page number 10. You move to the page number 10. I will explain what is profit and loss account. When I take up all the, I work out all the problems. Don't worry. This is the only beginning I am explaining. When you actually you learn many things, including adjustments,
Your voice is
adjustments
breaking.
that I will give. Voice is breaking.
The trading profit and loss account are different, sir.
Trading account, profit and loss account can be combined also. Can be combined, or you may prepare separately. Better you prepare separately. Now I am coming to problem, page number 10, I am coming to the profit and loss account. All
Sir,
factory
please
expenses
continue.
will come in the, look here, all factory related expenses will go to trading account. In case of profit and loss account, all administrative expenses, administrative means selling, distribution. So administration means office. Factory is a manufacturing place. Office is a white collar job where the account section will be there, sales section will be there, purchasing department, right? Selling department, distribution department, all offices will be there. The expenses incurred on office and administration, selling goods, all expenses will come on the debit side. What are they? Just I read out one by one. Debit side. First one is if there is a loss in the trading account, that is the first item. Hello? Tell me.
Now,
Gross loss. First item. If it is there. Next one is selling and distribution expenses. You know, for selling the goods, you have to advertisement, selling and distribution. Free samples we give. So all expenses, advertisement, traveler salaries, expenses and commission. Travel agents, they will go door to door for selling. For them, you pay commission, salary. That will be coming on the debit side. Bad debts. Bad debt is a loss. Some debtors with whom you sold goods, they did not pay. And that is a loss, is called a bad debt. Go down rent. Go down rent where goods are stored. A go down in which goods are stored, a rent paid on go down. Export expenses. When you are exporter, export expenses. Carriage outward. This is important. Carriage outwards. Sometimes a manufacturer supply the goods, deliver the goods to the customer place without charging, and a free delivery will be given. On goods sold, the delivery costs will be borne by the seller. We bear the businessman bears it. This is a selling cost. That will be debited to profit and loss account. That is called carriage outwards. Bank charges. Bank service already, BRS law you already studied. Any service charges, agent commission, and maintenance of motor lorries. Upkeep is maintenance of, if you have a truck to carry the goods, your own trucks, maintenance of the trucks will be debited. Next, management expenses. Management expenses, you have a general manager, different managers, sales manager, all paid for rent rates, paid for the billings of the management, heating, lighting, office salaries, printing, stationery, postage telegrams, telephone charges, legal charges, audit fees. Books are audited. Auditor is appointed to certify whether the accounts were properly drawn, where you have to engage a auditor. Auditor, you have to pay fees. Audit fees is an expenditure. Insurance is important, very important. Insurance means to protect the goods against loss by fire, theft, or any breakdown. We take insurance on assets to protect our assets. We take insurance policies on them, and you have to pay premium to the insurance company. The premium paid to the insurance company is an expenditure to be debited to profit and loss account. Next is general expenses. So next one, depreciation on fixed assets. Next one is depreciation on fixed assets. Some assets are machinery, building we use for manufacturing. Machinery value loss. Lorries used for transport, trucks, they are depreciated. So the reduction in the value of assets that are used in the business, the loss in the value is called depreciation. That depreciation is to be debited to profit and loss account. Next, repairs on assets also. Repairs, general maintenance, repairs of furniture, repairs of building, small amounts, not regular repairing maintenance expenditure. Not a major repairing expenditure is a capital expenditure. Okay? So then, financial expenses. Financial expenses that sometimes we borrow money from bank. We have borrowed money from bank, loan taken from bank, you have to pay interest on that, no? Interest payable. Interest on loan paid is a financial expenditure. You have to pay. They are discount, interest on capital, interest on loan, and discount allowed. Cash book debit side, discount allowed. For early payment, we allow discount, no? Any discount allowed is a loss that is to be debited to profit and loss account. Even discount on bills discounted also. Bill also we sold bill at a loss. That also be debited. They are all come under the meaning of financial losses. Financial losses. Then expenditure, extraordinary expenditure lost by fire, for example. Goods destroyed by fire. That is to be debited to profit and loss account. If insurance coverage is there, we recover some amount. The amount which you could not recover is to be recovered, is to be debited to profit and loss account. Others are given. Don't. That when a time comes, we'll explain to you. Then come to the credit side. I'll conclude by giving items on credit side. Now, first one is gross profit. By gross profit means trading account balance. If credit side is more, there is a profit that you write as a first item on the credit side. Gross profit. Interest received. Any interest we have received on our investments is the income. Discount received. Cash book. Credit side. Cash book. Credit side. Discount received will be there now. That will come here. Commission received. Commission received by the business. Then rent from tenants. Suppose our billing given to somebody on rental basis. If some ideal facility is there, if you let it to someone, they will pay you rent. Rent received by us. That is on the credit side. Income from investments. Suppose we invested money in shares or debentures. That bank BRS lo chadukunnam manam. What is that? Interest and dividends collected by bank. Interest and dividends collected by bank on behalf of the customer. This is the income for the business. So that is to be income on investments. Interest on debentures or interest received. Interest and dividends collected by bank. This is the example. Income from any other source. Any miscellaneous income. Any miscellaneous or miscellaneous income. That will be created. So the difference between debit and credit will be net profit or net loss. If credit side is more, credit side means income side. If income is more than the expenditure, it is a net profit. If expenditure, debit side, expenditure is greater than income, then it is called net loss. So this loss or profit, it will be transferred to capital account. It will be transferred to capital account. Net profit is added to capital. If you get net profit here, it is added to capital. If there is a net loss, this will be deducted net loss will be deducted from capital. That's it. Because profit belongs to proprietor. You have to pay is a risk taking. Profit is a reward for risk taking. A businessman started business, he is taking a risk. He may suffer a loss or he may gain. He don't know. He may suffer a loss or he may earn a profit. So profit is payable to proprietor. Loss is deducted from capital reduces. When loss means capital reduces. Profit means capital increases. Profit increases capital. Profit increases capital. Loss reduces capital. So that is that. So the profit and loss account, the balance will be either profit or loss. That is called net profit or net loss. That will be transferred to capital account. That capital account is in balance sheet. Capital account is in balance sheet. So the profit is added to capital. If it is a loss, we deduct from capital in the balance sheet. That's it. As of now, I close profit and loss account. Time is running out. So next class, I will take, the next one is manufacturing account. I will take later. I will take balance sheet that was there in the page number 22, 23. Just go through, and next class I will take up what is balance sheet. A balance sheet I will take up in the next class. So after the balance sheet is explained, I take up the problems one by one and work out all problems. I'll work you out and make you perfect in final accounts. There is nothing difficult in final accounts. And today or tomorrow, I will give you a printout, my handwritten script regarding adjustments. That I will, next class, I will cover balance sheet and adjustments. Then we'll move to problem one after the other. Then you go by. I told you the basically today in trial balance. What is trial balance? I explained to you. Trial balance is a source of our accounting, our financial statements. No trial balance, we can't prepare financial statements. Trial balance is a source for preparation of financial statements. Financial statements means trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. They are prepared on the basis of the trial balance. Trial balance, you have three types of accounts. Real account, assets. Personal account, debit, asset. Personal account, credit, liability. Real nominal account, expenses, losses, debit. Incomes and gains, credit. That's it. In trial balance, you can prepare. If some problems may be given, prepare trial balance from the following details he may give. Then you have to write whether that account show debit balance or credit balance. You must have a common sense apply. Whether it is a real account or personal account, nominal account. So then I'll come to it next class. I will take up the balance sheet and adjustments. Then we'll move to the practical problems. Manufacturing account I will take up later. Manufacturing account, because you have to go move some distance to understand what is manufacturing account. It cannot be taken immediately. So I will take it up after some time. Okay. So I'll call it a day. Now,
Sir, GST will also be included in this final accounts.
which one?
GST.
GST I will tell you. GST I don't want to club now. Very easy, no problem. GST difference between input GST and output GST will be recorded in the balance sheet. That's it. I'll tell you when it matters. When it matters. Okay. So normally we work out the problems as usual. And GST accounting, I will mention how GST transactions in final accounts are to be recorded. Where they will come, I will explain when they occur in the problems. Okay. So any doubts?
Sir, what is consumable stores?
కన్జ్యూమబుల్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మిషన్ రన్ కావాలి కదమ్మా, స్మూత్ గా రన్ కావాలంటే ఇప్పుడు క్లీన్ చేస్తారు, డిటర్జెంట్స్ కడుగుతారు, మిషన్ కూడా వారం వారం కడుగుతారు కదా, క్లీన్ చేస్తే సర్ఫ్ అయి డిటర్జెంట్స్ తెచ్చి కడుగుతారు, తర్వాత లూబ్రికెంట్స్ ఆయిల్ వేస్తారు, అదేంటారు గ్రీజ్ పెడతారు, ఎందుకంటే మిషన్ స్మూత్గా నడవాలి కదా, స్మూత్గా నడవాలంటే గ్రీజు, కొన్ని రిప్లేస్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి, బోల్ట్ కొన్ని అరిగిపోతాయి, దాన్ని తీసేసి కొత్త బోల్ట్ పెడతాం మిషన్స్ పైన. సో అవన్నీ కూడా కన్జ్యూమబుల్ స్టోర్స్ కావాలి. కాటన్ కొంత తుడుచాలద్దు, అంత గ్రీజ్ పడింది అనుకో, తుడవాలంటే గుడ్డ మన చేతి కట్టితే పోదు, అది మనం చేయి కడుక్కోవాలన్నా గ్రీజ్ అంటే మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడైనా డిటర్జెంట్స్ తో కడుక్కోవాలి, దానికి ఆఫీస్ లో పెడతారు అన్నట్టు గ్రీజ్ మిషనర్స్, అవి ఎంత స్టాక్ ఉండదు, గ్రీజ్ ఒక డబ్బా కొనుక్కొచ్చి అక్కడ పెడతారు, గ్రీజు, ఇంజన్ ఆయిల్, అవన్నీ ఏంటంటే మిషన్ స్మూత్ గా రన్ చేయడం కోసం అట్లా. దానికన్నా కన్జ్యూమబుల్ స్టోర్స్ అంటారు. స్టోర్స్ అంటే స్టోర్ వేర్ యూ కీప్ దెమ్, అంటే యూ పర్చేజ్ సమ్ ఐటమ్స్, కాటన్ వేస్ట్ అయ్యంతా కొన్న గుడ్డలు, పాత గుడ్డలు కూడా కొంటారు, పాత మన చొక్కాలు చిరిగిపోయినాయి చూసారా, కొన్ని మిషనరీలో కొనుక్కుపోతారు కాటన్ గుడ్డలు, చీరలు కూడా. ఏం చేస్తారు, వాటిని మిషన్ తుడవటానికి దుమ్ము అదంతా కూడా మిషన్ అంతా క్లీన్ చేయడానికి వాడతారు. దే ఆర్ కాల్డ్ కన్జ్యూమబుల్ స్టోర్స్. ఇట్ ఈస్ డెబిటెడ్ టు ట్రేడింగ్ అకౌంట్, డెబిటబుల్ టు ట్రేడింగ్ అకౌంట్. ఓకే, ఏదైనా ఎనీ వర్డ్ అకౌంట్కి ఏదైనా మీకు మీనింగ్ తెలియకపోతే జస్ట్ ఆస్క్ మీ, ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. That is expenditure or income. Expenditure అయితే whether it will come in the trading account or profit and loss account. Some expenses will come in the trading account, some will come in the profit and loss account.
Sir, what is apprentice?
What is that? What is
Apprenticeship premium?
Apprenticeship premium అంటే it is a income for the business. ఇప్పుడు మీరు సిఏ చేస్తున్నారు అనుకోండి అమ్మా, సిఏ చేస్తే మీరు ట్రైనింగ్, మీరు పోయి ఆ సిఏ దగ్గర పనిచేస్తారు కదా, మిమ్మల్ని అప్రెంటిస్ అంటారు. ఇప్పుడు ఒకడు కంపెనీలో ట్రైనింగ్ ఇస్తే ఆన్ జాబ్ ట్రైనింగ్, ఒక సీనియర్ కింద వాడు పనిచేస్తాడు, ఒక పిల్లవాడు ఏది నేర్చుకుంటాడు వర్క్, ఫర్ నేర్చుకునేందుకు హీ విల్ పే టు ద మనీ టు ద కంపెనీ కింద కంపెనీకి పే చేస్తాడు, అది ఇన్కమ్ ఫర్ ద బిజినెస్. అంటే ఈ వర్క్ అండర్ సూపర్విజన్ ఆఫ్ సంబడి. ఇప్పుడు సిఏ చేసే వాళ్ళ దగ్గర సిఏ స్టూడెంట్స్ జాయిన్ అవుతారు కదా, మీరు సిఏ చేయాలనుకోండి, చార్టెడ్ అకౌంటెంట్ దగ్గర జాయిన్ అవుతారు. జాయిన్ అయితే యూ హెవ్ టు పే ఫీజ్ టు ద చార్టెడ్ అకౌంటెంట్. మీరు నేర్పట్ల, వాడు అకౌంట్ నేర్పుతున్నాడు కదా, క్యాష్ బుక్ ఎట్లా రాస్తారు అవన్నీ నేర్పుతున్నాడు కదా చార్టెడ్ అకౌంటెంట్.
నో సార్, వాళ్ళే మనకు పే చేస్తారు సార్.
వాడు కూడా పే చేస్తారు, కానీ మీ దగ్గర కూడా తీసుకుంటాడు పైసలు.
ఏమో సార్, వారు మాక్సిమం తీసుకోరు.
కొంతమంది ఏమో ఇదివరకు, ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ఛార్జింగ్, సీనియర్ అయిన తర్వాత డబ్బులు ఇస్తాడు, ఇనిషియల్ గా అయితే వాడే తీసుకుంటాడు మీ దగ్గర. ఇంకా ఫ్యాక్టరీలో ఏమిటి, ఆ మిషన్ ఎట్లా నడపాలంటే వాడు పక్కన నేర్పుతారు పని నేర్పితే ఒకసారి డ్యామేజ్ కూడా కావచ్చు మిషన్, మరి వీడు నేర్పినందుకు ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చినందుకు డబ్బులు వసూలు చేస్తారు కదా. ఫ్యాక్టరీలో మిషన్ నడపటం, హౌ టు ఆపరేట్ మిషన్, ఆన్ ఆఫ్, అవన్నీ నేర్పుతారు కదా, ఒకసారి రావు కదా పనులు అందరికీ. అప్రెంటిస్షిప్ ప్రీమియం ఈజ్ ఏ ఇన్కమ్. చూడండి, అది క్రెడిట్ లో ఉంటుంది, చూడండి మీకు ట్రయల్ బ్యాలెన్స్ లో ఇట్ విల్ అపియర్ ఆన్ ద క్రెడిట్ కాలం. వై? ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఏ ఇన్కమ్ కాబట్టి. దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, చూడండి ఇంకేనే ఉన్నా కూడా, దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ డే వి జస్ట్ స్టార్టెడ్ ద ప్రాబ్లం.
సార్, ఇంటాంజిబుల్ అసెట్ ఇక్కడ,
ఇంటాంజిబుల్ అసెట్ కూడా ఎసెట్, గుడ్
విల్ పేటెంట్
అవన్నీ కూడా ఎసెట్స్, దే విల్ కమ్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ ఎసెట్ సైడ్. అది రియల్ అకౌంట్స్, అవన్నీ రియల్ అకౌంట్స్.
టైమ్ అప్ సార్.
ఓకే, ఓకే, విల్ మీట్ యూ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్. రైట్, బై, కాల్ ఇట్ ఎ డే.
Bye sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye sir.
Send me the absentees list without fail. Okay, see you back.